Multiple three. So I can't hear you.
Okay,
Let
there
me
we go.
see if
Hear me
you're
now?
there. You go.
All right.
Perfect. So there you go. Got it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Teresa, there's a grocery store up in Chicago named after your last name.
Utera. All right.
Yep.
In New York, probably too.
I don't know about that, but Chicago for sure.
Oh, that's
Where?
cool. I have to check it out one day. Are you from Chicago?
I am not, but my wife is, and we were just up
Ah,
there visiting family uh, this past month, and so that's one of those stores they always go to when we are up there because it has some local specialty items that you just can't get
oh,
down here in
wow.
the South. So whenever we're up there, they stock up on those
That's what
items.
I need. Wow.
Yep.
Nice accent. All right, Michael, take us away. Tell us what we're doing here.
We are prospecting, dialing for dollars. I've been really doing a deep dive in prospecting over the last kind of few weeks and just really getting some really good metrics for us, not just locally, but I feel like these are evergreen. These are um, applicable to all of our markets. And I mean, we all know the key to getting in front of more people or selling more is talking to more people. I mean, leads don't just land in your lap. They don't just sell themselves. You have to call and put in the time. And I mean, this is not an easy job to do. Prospecting is not easy. It is not just simple work that you do here and there. You have to be consistent with it and do it, like I said, consistently, do it daily. And when I say daily, I've been doing this 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, consistently. And there's certain days and times of the week that are better than others. Afternoons tend to be better than morning time. Sorry, I got agents showing up here. Afternoons tend to be better than morning time. And when I say afternoons, somewhere in that range from like 2 to 6, 3 to 7, just really depends. The mentality is you're catching people as they're finishing up their day. They're probably in the car, they're driving home, maybe they're picking up their kids from daycare, they're probably listening to NPR like I do. So there's that. So you kind of have a captive audience at the moment there, which is nice. They're kind of disarmed. It's the end of the day. They're kind of maybe tired from their day. They're not really wanting to sit there and argue with anybody, and they're willing to listen. So afternoons tend to be good. Other days of the week that tend to be a lot days of the week that tend to be really good too. Middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are going to be your ideal times for prospecting, as well as Saturdays. Mondays and Fridays tend to be slower just because the nature of Monday is kind of the extension of the weekend. People are recovering from their, activities of the weekend, and then Friday, people are starting their weekend. So it's just one of those things that you capture in the middle of the week. It's going to be your most ideal times. Also, with the metrics, I've figured and calculated within an hour's time of prospecting, you should be able to hit anywhere between roughly around 30 dials. And that's 30 dials consistently dialing, documenting your calls, taking notes about every single call, and setting a task for that next follow-up call. So 30 dials per hour. So if you sit down for 1 hour or 2 hours in a day, you should hit 60 calls. That also includes time for conversations with leads as well.
Right.
So most conversations with a lead average maybe 5 to 8 minutes. If you have a really good conversation, you may be there for 20 to 30 minutes. At that point, I'm ready to get off. I'm like, let's go, let's get off. I got other calls to make. So just keep your time, keep it brief, and move on, set up the search, and to move on from there. And I mean, just in this week alone, I've done almost 300 dials, and I've set up probably maybe 12 plus searches for leads that I've spoken to, some of which are ready to buy immediately. Some are, a few weeks out. Others have said, if the right property comes across, I'd be ready to buy right now. So, like I said, just consistency with your dialing, and that's it. One of the things, I don't know if Kerry has shared this with you guys, and he probably will. We're going to be rolling out some success tracker sheets here. It's pretty simple. It is just a checklist, paper checklist. It's two-sided. The front side is going to be all of your your days and stuff for just ticking off your calls. And it's got 30 calls or 30 calls per day. Not obviously you can do more than that, but you got to track your metrics. You got to know how many calls, how many connections, how many conversations you're making to know, where you're falling flat. If you're not having good connectivity, you're not connecting with your leads, then we need to look at, when is it you're making your calls? What days are you calling? What time of day are you calling? And we can make adjustments according to that. So make sure you're tracking accordingly the time you start, the time you finish, as well as the days that you're calling. And then also, keep track of your conversations you have. I just keep it really simple. I just tick off a mark on every call I make, and then every conversation I have, I put a little circle around that same number. That way I know basically, where in my calling block that occurred. And if I keep track of when I started and when I finished, it gives me an idea of where that call occurred in that call block. And like I said, I'm actually doing roughly about 30 dials in half an hour, or around 40 to 45 minutes. So I've got my process down pretty good. So I can do a lot more dials than the average, but you should roughly be able to accomplish at least 30 dials an hour. So you guys all want to get on to Zoom? Gary, you there, man?
He ran up to the front for a second. He'll be back.
All right.
I got these brand new headphones that wouldn't connect, so I'm gonna use these other ones. I'm a
Couldn't you
weirdo
still,
about headphones.
couldn't you steal one of your son's gaming headsets?
No, actually, headsets work the best, I think. If you're not gonna buy like a $275 headset, which are typically worth every dollar, but I'm just gonna buy a gaming headset because if I take it home and it goes missing, I know it's probably in some child's bedroom or
That's what this one is. Just is 275 bucks. This headset has made me millions in sales volume. Tens of millions, actually.
Yeah, exactly. All right, perfect. So
Totally worth the investment.
did you talk about the format at all about how we want to do this? Because we've done calls before. We've done call sessions before. Our biggest concern is we want to make sure that it's valuable and you're hearing what you want to hear. So I think the I think the best I think the easiest format for this amount of people is have your videos on. If you want, mute yourself. We can be doing our calls like Michael. You can stay unmuted. I will as well. Obviously, I have a couple. If I have some other calls pop in, I might have to jump off. But if you connect with someone, if and when you connect with someone, unmute yourself so we can hear, and from there we can give feedback and we can talk about it, and also from our calls as well, we can have feedback. So go ahead and start dialing. If you have any questions, throw them into the chat, or if it's kind of a bigger question that we probably should talk about later, send us a message in Slack so we have it, so we don't forget, because I don't want you to forget any questions. And make sure you're
Also,
calling from the app.
the one thing also I was going to add to with prospecting folks, you got to treat this like a job. So when you sit down to do your prospecting, you should not have your TV on in the background. You should not be playing on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything like that. If you get outside calls that come in of people like that are not related to you prospecting, do not answer the call. Just message them, hey, I'm busy at the moment. I'll get back to you in an hour. Like, just be focused, be diligent. Don't waste your time on something that's not going to make you money. And this will make you money, period. That's just it. It will make you money. So
I'm excited. All right, I'm getting plugged in.
plug it in, plug it in. Hey, Deborah, it's Michael. Give me a call when you get a chance. 980-269-0039. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. This is working beautifully.
And folks, remember with every single call that you make, take notes about that specific call, whether it's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 10. Take a note about the call and also take a note on there specifically about your next step or your next follow-up. And don't forget, you need to set a task for every single call you make for the next follow-up call.
Right. Hey, Joyce, it's Carrie. I just had a minute between showings. Give me a shout whenever you have a chance. I had this really cool property I wanted to show you. 678-983-7987. So I've been sending her properties for a long time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But she does answer.
Hey, Trenton. Hey, this is JC. You had been using my real estate site to take a look at a few properties around Atlanta. It's the Method Atlanta site. Yeah, just checking in. How's everything going on that search? Awesome, awesome. So I saw you were looking at a few different condos around the area. Are you actively looking? Oh, I think I got clicked on. It's always fun.
Hey, you got to go for the no. There's going to be, you got to get to 99 no's before you get that one yes.
I want 99 yeses and that being the only no today.
Oh, well, that'd be amazing.
Hey, Vincent, Carrie Blumenfeld, Method Real Estate. I know it's been a little bit, but I wanted to touch base. I know you weren't feeling too well last time we spoke, but whenever you get a chance, give me a call back, 678-983-7987. Talk to you soon. don't forget after you're leaving voicemails or things like that to also leave, send text messages, send those email follow-ups, or if you don't want to do it right now, take note of that and remind yourself. A lot of people may not realize, especially if you're newer to method or you're still learning everything. A lot of our lead process is you call and you don't leave voicemails as well. So if you're like no one's saying anything, it's because we're probably dialing and people are not they're not answering yet. So but feel free if you get connected with someone, unmute yourself. We'll listen. If we're on the phone, we'll mute you. But um, we're I'm excited to hear some stuff.
Yeah, the cool thing, like Carrie was saying about our process is, when you call somebody and you do connect with them, you're not coming on with commission breath, and you instantly, introduce yourself, but also at the same time you lead with, and I always lead with, first of all, this is not a sales call. Just wanted to make sure that you had access to the website. Can I answer any questions for you about using it or making any adjustments to the search? And 9 times out of 10, most people will say, "Oh, I'm good, thank you." Well, actually, I do have a question for you. Bam, and then you got them right there. Soon as somebody, like, they break that kind of that thought, that sort of, you know defensiveness. As soon as they break down that wall, then you're in their pocket and you can start talking to them, and they'll sit there and they'll spill their beans to you. They'll tell you everything. They'll tell you about their family, their kids, about their parents, about somebody in their family that recently died, and that their grandkids that were just born. I mean, like, it's amazing how, when you use the right language, it can completely turn the tide of how your calls go with a lead.
It's so funny. I have my headphones connected to the computer so I can hear you. And I've got my microphone that I got to make sure is on. And I'm talking to you guys. And I've got my AirPod in that's connected to my phone.
And you're eating peanuts.
It's the lunch, man.
Hey, Crystal, it's Michael. Give me calling it a chance. 980-269-0039. Thank you. Bye. And also keep in
Hey,
mind when
Linda,
you're
it's Carrie Blumenfeld, Method Real Estate. It's been a little while. How are you? Hey, wonderful, wonderful. I know you've been on our site looking at homes for a little while, and I just wanted to touch base and see how that search is going. I know you had a home to sell. Obviously no pressure at all. Just wanted to see what's going on. Of course, and that makes total sense. That makes total sense. Are you still looking at being within the perimeter area or at least within the metro area of Atlanta? Okay, excellent. We're definitely familiar with that area. Our office is up in Roswell, and we do a lot up in Forsyth County, of course. Um, what what specifically are you looking for in a new home, or at least a home that you can renovate or things like that? Mhm. Oh, and that's so definitely is garage is that a deal killer, deal maker right there? Okay. How big is your current home right now? Just so I have a comparison. Okay. I mean, that's a good size home. So you can find, I guess the problem is we are in that area, we're specifically looking at a lot of new construction, especially that size and one level living. And as you know already, looking at them, those prices tend to creep up there, especially with those planned communities. Is that something you would is that something that you would want to be in a community type environment, or are you looking more for secluded, um, you know, wooded, that type of thing? Hmm. Excellent. Excellent. Do you think that, so I guess really what's been holding you back from listing your home and buying something else? Yeah. Hmm. I understand. I understand that. Well, that's okay. Life happens. We, and and that's it. Now we have, is it something where it's motivation to get going, or is it available liquid funds to get things done? Do you specifically need those proceeds from the home you're currently living in to buy? I think probably a lot of those questions that you have in your head, it all kind of plays in. That would be exceptional. So, well, why do you say that? Do you think it's too much work, or is it just having enough cash flow in order to do that, float it, and then, of course, get yourself obviously into the next house? Mhm. Right, right. You're not old. You're not old. Well, I'll tell you, we do have it. It's no strings attached. It is a program called Method Makeover. What we will do is, depending on how much equity you have in your home, we will front the costs for getting things together, repairing floors, painting, um, updating certain things in order to maximize that value for your current home so that you can take those proceeds and use them. Those funds are paid to the vendors by us, and they are paid. Uh, you essentially pay us back at closing. It's a line item at closing, so it comes from your proceeds. So you are able to tap into the equity without essentially penalty. There's no charge for it. That is a service that we provide. That definitely is an option, and it's something that we've been doing a lot because cash flow between assets can be very tricky. As you see. Luckily, you have built-in equity, and you've built equity over time. So that's a wonderful thing. Now it's essentially being able to utilize it and tap into it. And that is something that we do specialize in. We understand what it takes to get things on the market, what to actually do, what makes sense, not wasting money and spending on things that are not necessary. But we do understand that if you don't do things, your options are basically sell it to an investor and you'll take a haircut, and that's what it is. Or at least let us come in and evaluate it, put some numbers together, look and see if that makes sense, what's feasible, if you have the equity, and then what those values look like if you sold it as is, or if you sold it with those fixes done, how long that will take, and exactly what you'll need to do in order to get that home ready to pass on to the next buyer so that you can utilize those funds. We have all the contractors, we have all of that stuff. Our goal is to help you get your home on the market so that we can help you sell that one and get you into the new one. So it's not about fees for us. It's not about tacking things on top. It's about providing these services because we know you're in a tough pinch, and it's going to take multiple resources, multiple people. And it's not just me. I have a team behind me. So it's not just me working on it. We're a total package. So go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's your great question. Great question. Of course. Well, of course, the short answer is ideally, if I could have you not live in your home and do all of that work, of course that would be easier and all of that, but that's typically not realistic. What we would do is that would be coordinated while you were there. And if it is something that you need help with, like there are people who are professional organizers that can help pack stuff up and go through things. Because I know just the physical aspect of going through things is, I mean, it's a full-time job. We see it day in and day out. So we have people who do that as a service, because it's daunting. And they will work hand in hand with you to go through things, and you can decide what what you want to keep, what you're taking with you, what's donated, all of that stuff. And that's an entire process, because I'm not going to let you invest money that you have in built-in equity if it's not going to benefit you. And I'm going to tell you exactly what we need to do. So if it is come in and do whatever we need to do, I'm going to tell you. If it's something that's not feasible, we discuss it and we look at options and we see what is feasible, what makes sense. So I will tell you that you sound like the ideal candidate for this program. That's why we created it. But of course, I need to get eyes on your home. I need to do the analysis, go back, redo the analysis, and just get numbers together. And you've taken your time, and we, of course, take our time. We analyze everything, but I know that at some point, we can look at each other and say, okay, we can work as a team. We can do this. Just know that you're fully supported with us. I'm just not a one-off. And I hope you realize that after me calling you for years and years. And I apologize. If I've been annoying in any way, but that's the way we operate. We check in, we create relationships, we help people, because that is the nature of what we do. What I need is your address for your home. I know exactly where you live. Not like I've been there, but I have sold numerous homes on Admiral. Right.
She in Honey Hills.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's wonderful. I remember coming over. I'm originally from Birmingham. I remember coming over here and visiting my cousin. He lived in Chamblee, right down the street. He lived off of was it Teal Court up in Sexton Woods, and we ride our bikes all around up to Keswick Park and play tennis off that wall, that big giant wall. It's probably not as big as I think it was. I was little. They did that roller rink and all of that. So it really has completely, that whole area is completely transformed. It's become Brookhaven. The last time I drove through there was probably around May, and I showed one back there that was listed for, I think it was like 2.3 million something, and I couldn't believe it was back there, but it is, and people are buying them. It's a great area. So we have to look at what needs to be done at your home in order to fully maximize that value. But of course, you don't want to overdo it, because you could potentially have someone who wants to come in and do whatever and blow the roof off and do all that. But we need to get it into a condition to where they're coming in and they're not seeing red flags, or dollar signs aren't going off in their head for the wrong reasons. I want dollar signs going off saying, I can't wait to do this and that and this and that, because we set such a good palette for them. Because the area sells itself, the street sells itself, the schools are exceptional, as we know. So those are things we need to tap into. It's just it's getting our eyes in there and getting the contractors in there just to see exactly what we need to do and what that's going to cost. Yeah, no problem. Listen, there's no problem with waiting, taking your time. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and just run numbers on your house and send you an analysis as per what's currently on the market for something that is in good condition, just fair market condition. And I'll send that over. We can discuss it whenever you want. Like I said, no pressure at all. I'm obviously not going anywhere. So uh, I look forward to working with you. Like I said, we're here for you. We're a team. We operate as a team, and we're here to help you. So do not hesitate to reach out with any questions at all. And I'll plan to give you a shout, say in a week, next Wednesday or Thursday. Excellent. No problem. Excellent. Well, it's wonderful connecting with you finally, and really looking forward to working with you in the future. Thanks, Linda. Talk to you soon. Bye. Dang,
That was a good call.
That's good.
that was awesome. I'll tell you how long she's been a lead. I need to look on this other side. "2018.
Wow. Ooh,
I had a 4-minute conversation with her August 6th, 2018. Calls, texts, emails. She never really responded to anything. Like
What's her
randomly
address?
answered.
Admiral? What was the address?
3819 Admiral.
That's so
Don't steal
funny.
my listing, bro.
Come on now.
what-
Is it Admiral? Was it Court? Admiral Drive. That's what it
Drive.
is. I just want to check it out. Hmm. Looks like it could be valued just on paper around 534,000. Probably more than that though, if it's updated
Well,
or
it's not. She said the
Oh.
floors need to be replaced. It needs to be painted. I had a very similar situation on Admiral, like that, and they actually ended up having a major water issue, which was not fun. But we ended up selling it to investors because they just jumped all over it. They couldn't help themselves. People will tear that house down, or they'll fully renovate it.
it looks like the house I grew up in. Legit.
Does it?
Yep.
You want to buy it for 500,000?
No.
What'd your parents
It's
pay for that
definitely
house? You know,
71,000. This was in 1977.
it's a good year.
Their mortgage interest rate was 14%.
I'm good. The last time that we
Yeah, about
spoke, I just want, or
70,000.
it was a couple months ago, so I just wanted to call and check in and see how you were doing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I noticed that we don't have you set up on an auto search, I don't believe. What is your search criteria? I know when we spoke, you were talking about land. Are we talking about property now, or kind of what are you looking for? I remember that. Okay. Okay, and do you kind of have a timeline? You mentioned that you were kind of just browsing. Okay, are you wanting to stay down that way in the Mount Holly area, or are you okay with all the outskirts? Okay. All right, and okay, perfect. I can do a radius of that, the Bojangles Theater. And what's your budget? All right. That's actually a lender question, but I'd be more than happy to put you in contact with one of my lenders and she can answer all of those questions for you if you would like. Would that work for you? I'm sorry, I just like to leave the main questions to the experts and I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. So, but okay, but her name is Colleen, and I'll go ahead and send your number over to her, and she'll reach out and just answer anything that you have. And in the meantime, I'll get you set up on an auto land search, so you'll receive these results daily. All right. All right, perfect. And if you see anything, just shoot me a text or give me a call if you see anything that catches your eye, and I can get you out there to go see it. All right, perfect. Thank you for taking my call. And didn't you, last time we spoke, you just had a baby, correct? Well, oh goodness, growing so fast. I thought it was sooner than that, but congratulations. All right, well, Tashana, I will talk to you later, okay? All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Nice call.
Good job, Haley.
When they're giving you issues about the lender, because that was exactly what you need to say. If they're asking questions that really they need to be talking to a lender, just they always assume that like they're going to be like paying money when they're talking to a lender. Just like overemphasize, like there's no obligation to talk to them. We need to understand your financial story. They can answer those questions and it will ease your anxiety. So I'm just
Okay.
always like, I'm like, what's giving you anxiety? Why are you waiting? Why won't you pull the trigger? What is it? People will eventually talk to you. You'll catch them off guard. I caught that lady off guard. You couldn't hear him. She was like,
Could you hear my end of, or I mean, her end of this conversation?
No.
No.
Okay. Her question was with new construction, she wants to know if she can just go through the bank for a loan or or how that works. And I did not know the answer to that. So that's why I brought up the
Well,
lender.
some
Great
banks
question.
do provide mortgages, so you definitely could go through the bank if the bank writes mortgages. Most banks nowadays do write mortgages, so the
So
answer,
it's just a regular mortgage for a new construction. She wants to have her home built. I'm sorry.
I mean, a mortgage is a mortgage. I mean, most banks do offer mortgage products. Now, not all of them will offer a new construction like land loan, or you may need to what they call a construction or perm loan, which is typically
Okay.
what's done if you're building on a building a house on a piece of land that's not part of a planned community. So you would need something along those lines of a construction or perm loan. And not all banks, not all lenders provide those, as we have lender partners
Okay.
locally that only provide, that specifically provide those things. For example, one of our lender partners, Nick Moats, provides construction or perm loans, but our primary lender, Dash, does not. They strictly do just
Okay.
FHA, VA, conventional 203K, and USDA loans. So,
Okay.
but yeah, you gave her the right answer. That was the correct way of
Okay. Cool beans.
transitioning the call.
And specifically for new construction, if they want to buy land and build, that's mostly going to be USDA.
Okay.
They'll be able to do that.
This is Teresa with Bank of America for you
And
today.
then, you can't,
Doing great.
you can go
I
to
was
local
just
banks
checking
and
in. I
that
hadn't
can
talked to you in a
sometimes help
while,
too.
and I was trying to see
Okay.
if you decide if you
Thank
were
you.
moving forward, trying to find a home, or where do you stand right now? Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So you have a home to sell as well. Okay. Okay. So are you looking at staying in that same area or? Oh, really? Yeah. Right. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Huh. So you're in Pelham or where you? Okay, so that's where I'm at in Helena. Yeah. Whereabouts in Helena are you? Silver Lakes. Oh, okay, I know where that's at. Yeah. Okay. So are you looking to rent it then, or are you looking to sell it since you're waiting to retire? Uh-huh. Right, right. Yeah, yeah, gotcha. Okay. So you think he's gonna be getting back with you soon or? Okay. What are you doing down there? I mean, is there, so you're renovating it a little bit? Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You don't want to go overboard. I got you. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. Okay. Well, give me your address and I will look it up and see what the homes are running in the area. And I can just send you that information by email. Okay. What is that address there? Mm-hmm. ROSE VAY, one word. Okay. And that's considered Helena. Yeah, it's chopped up in that area really bad. There's like Helena, Hoover, and Bessemer. Yeah. Okay. All right. I've got everything written down. I'm going to look it up and see what I can find out, and I'll let you know. And I'll be calling you back in about a week. Okay. Sounds good. All right, dear. Talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye bye. Was I on mute? I don't know if y'all could hear me.
We heard you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did it sound okay? I mean, do y'all
Yeah.
have any critique to critique me with? Or I
I
know I'm very
love
fast trying to get through everything I'm trying to say, and
I love how you
sometimes,
stepped out of your comfort zone and you asked her why. Why is she not? You started the conversation because you could have not, and if you didn't, that conversation was over.
yeah, yeah.
So
Thank you.
that was I was listening. I'm like, and then you hear it coming. That's the pivot, and
Yeah,
and you didn't, and that will become more natural the more you do it.
yeah,
It is not natural. That is not a natural thing. People typically are not asked those questions except by like their friends or like their parents, so being a complete stranger and saying, what is your motivation for not moving, or really, why are you so insecure that you haven't been able to pull the trigger after 6 years? That's what we're getting at. And if you can engage them and do that, then that's when you're going to start winning.
Conversation.
So it was awesome. Now you gotta follow up.
The thing I also like too is you connected with her. Y'all were talking about knowing the area that you're in, that general vicinity, and you're trying to find common ground. So when people can relate to you and you relate to them, they feel a lot more at ease, and they'll talk to you and they'll open up and they'll,
Well, I
just that.
also, I have the address in the app, but I asked him for it anyway, just to keep the conversation going and feel more comfortable.
Absolutely.
And I guess that's a good move. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing too with calls is you always want to try to ask open-ended questions. You don't want to ask closed-ended questions that elicit just a yes or no. You want to get them talking. You want to keep them talking. You want to keep getting information, and any and every detail that they tell me on that call, I'm taking down in my notes section, every single detail. They tell me about their kids, their grandkids, why they're moving, where they live, what anything, even if it's not related to real estate, I take it down so that the next time I call that person back, I can refer back to my notes and I can say, hey, Sheila, how's everything going? How are your grandkids? And the last time we talked, one of them was just getting
Oh, not much, not
baptized
much.
and
Just
was,
checking in on you. I know we spoke back in, what was it, like the beginning of May about that home search over in Douglasville. Just want to check in, see if anything's changed. Oh, okay. Yeah. Is there a better time for us to chat later? An hour? Oh, I'll call you back. All right. Take care.
So Carrie, are you there? Michael, are you there?
Okay. Mhm. And what was it that was the triggering point for you? Gotcha. All right, perfect. And then you're in Greensboro, correct? Or you have a home to sell there? Okay. Okay, perfect. And then whenever that time comes, do you have a realtor that you're thinking about using in that area? Okay. All right. Well, if when the time comes, we can talk about that. I was talking about getting that MLS because I live in Salisbury, so I am halfway between Greensboro and Charlotte. All right. So if you want, oh, oh, only about 15-20 minutes. It just depends on where you're going. Okay. Okay. So it's kinda, yeah. It's more like north. Yep, northwest. Huntersville's northwest, and then Harrisburg would be northeast, but they're all like kind of in that area. And you said, is Concord the area that you're trying to get to, or is it Charlotte? Okay. Okay. I don't blame you. So yeah. So what we could do is set up a radius. Mhm. Yeah, I got you. And your budget was it's 450, is that correct? 350. I will make sure to update that. I apologize. Okay. All right, I have that updated for you. And then I'll also update the rest of what we just talked about as well. And then I'll follow up with you in about a month. Does that sound good? Okay, perfect. And then this is my personal phone number. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to either call or text me. All right, yeah, thank you so much for taking my call, Brad. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Carrie, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, well, I was just going to ask. I've not used the app before and don't know how to. Do I go back to follow up boss and put this person in and put the notes because I'm not able to get in? I mean, I get in to see the client, but I don't, when I go to notes or anything like that, it doesn't let me do anything. So,
Oh, did you say
oh,
Haley or Carrie?
Carrie, I was looking for Carrie,
Okay, I
but
was gonna say, I'll mute myself.
so do you go to the app or do you go to follow up boss to make your notes? Or do you know?
Personally, I go to I can do it through both, so I don't know
Okay.
if yours isn't letting you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on my computer through followupboss.com, and then I'm also on my phone.
Okay. Well, I'll call admin or I'll text them and see what they say. I don't know. What to
Okay.
do.
I hope that
Thank
helps you.
Thank you. Oh, Lord.
Alberto? Yes. Hey, this is JC. You had been using my real estate site to check out a few properties around Kennesaw. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Hey, before you go, Albert, quick last question. Let me get it off. Try. How's it going?
We're still in the same spot. We're not actively looking.
Okay, okay. And is there anything that y'all are kind of waiting on?
There's not any rush.
Oh no, absolutely. I totally get it. Remind me, is your daughter, she already lives in Georgia or is she moving from out of state?
We live here with.
She lives with you. All right. So it's just a matter of yeah. Are you waiting just to find the right spot or is it prices?
Thinking about it, just to have a place and then rent it, but we were just trying to figure out what we really wanted.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, hey, you're talking to the right person to help figure that out. Is there any questions you had about what that might look like as far as financing, as far as what type of profits you guys would turn over based on a specific area or property you're looking at?
That's the thing that problem is like we were thinking, we live in Marietta, right?
Right.
Because I did not want to own a property in Marietta because of the property taxes, right? Okay, I don't want to pay property taxes on two homes in this county, right? We were just, trying to think where would be, we don't want to, one of decent areas where, right?
Absolutely.
So just things that we needed to sit down and kind of figure out.
So property taxes, finding a place with good taxes, and then
Decent school district at least, but yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely. So it would be somewhere. I mean, at the end of the day, I would say, hey, it's an investment property. It needs to make dollars, or it doesn't make sense. Um, as far as certain areas that you would consider, is there anything that you guys have kind of thrown around that would make sense for you?
Yeah, we spoke about the cattle, right? But yeah, depends on where you are, right?
When we spoke, I believe the search was more on Kennesaw. But
Right.
uh-huh. It certainly can. Yeah, yeah. I mean, in terms of everything going up, you mean taxes or well, can I tell you this? I mean, I've been kind of reaching out to some clients that have been on hold because of rates. For the last 3 weeks, rates have actually been steadily, slowly declining. We're not talking like huge rate drops, but we have seen them start to slump down after the Fed announced that they are going to be doing a rate cut this year. And I mean, it's basically the market reacting to that. We're seeing rates go down. we're seeing more homes on the market. While prices aren't going down, there's more homes, less buyers. So if you're looking for a good deal, that's definitely, we're seeing that out there. I just recently got some clients a great deal. I got them 10,000 in seller credits. We knocked 15 off the asking price. They're walking in there super happy with very little cash to close. So a really good position. Yeah, yeah. And in terms of investment property, obviously that's important, right? This isn't like you guys, if that's what we're looking for, it's not like y'all are going to be living in there. We got to find something that we can get a really good deal on so that it works, right? It works on paper, it makes sense. We can definitely do that. I'm happy to keep my eye out for some properties for you guys. If that's the goal. Yeah,
Yeah, like little fixer uppers, but I don't think I can do a fix. I mean, it depends.
well, it's yeah. The only thing with fixer uppers is just having the capital to get it in good shape, and it's if we could find something, I mean, and it's completely up to you, but if we can find something in decent shape that we can just have a tenant move in there right away, that's going to help you guys. I'm sure if you're getting a mortgage, there's not going to be any downtime between you guys making those mortgage payments and having to cover that cost without a tenant paying on it.
It's just the rent, so it would be nice if you can. We were trying to figure out maybe a place where it's two families, right? Like this man, two, yeah, like something. We were just going to share.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there any certain price point that you think that you'd want to stay under with a search for an investment property like that?
Yeah, that's the thing. That the lower I go, then I know I'm gonna be a decent neighborhood. I don't want a decent neighborhood, right? Because I the fixer upper that I just got from Zillow, it was 250, but it was no floors,
Yeah.
Just, to, there was no floors all over the lower level.
Yeah. Can I tell you my other concern about those fixer uppers is that if you're looking to finance, a lot of the time, the house has to be in at least decent shape. Yeah, or a lot of the time they won't lend on it based on the type of loan you guys are going after as well. So, if you are financing, if it's cash, you can definitely make it happen. But if you're financing, you probably want it to be in decent shape at least. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, the less work y'all have to do, the quicker you can get someone in there.
Going where with I know a lot of people look at stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just finding the right spot that makes sense at whatever price the rent is. But yeah, I mean, I see people moving into rentals every day, especially now with the market we're in. People are under the assumption that mortgages are unaffordable, which I would say is wrong, but there's still tons of people looking to rent, which is great for this type of venture that you guys are looking to do. Uh, I mean, so that being said, I know you want a good area. Let's say we were able to find you something in a pretty good area. What price point do you think you'd want to be at there?
Yeah, I don't want to have to. I know one is a rental and it's investment, but I don't. Uh, I wouldn't want to have a high mortgage, right? I don't want to go to 400, maybe 300 or something like that. I'm not looking for.
So stay maybe under what do you think, like under 400 or under 360, 50? What do you think? Under 350? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And right, absolutely. And I know you don't want a high mortgage. Have you talked to a lender at all to kind of get an idea of what your mortgage might look like at a purchase price of 350?
No, but we have both of us have great credit, so.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I mean, that'll definitely be helpful. So if it doesn't affect your credit to pull at all, but if you guys do want to kind of get an idea of where you would stand with a mortgage at that purchase price or really any price, I can put you in touch with my lender that works in-house with us here. He's awesome. He's super competitive on rates. Basically, anytime I have clients that come in with any quote, he's like, show it to me, I'll match it or do better. He's excellent. His name's Riley. I can certainly give you his number and put you guys in touch. I know, and it's not like, hey, you got to go buy something tomorrow. It's just to, like we talked about at the beginning of the conversation, get a little more information and kind of line things up. So if it makes sense, then we could go and do something if we find the right property.
Mhm.
What do you think?
No, I don't, we don't talk for lender, right?
No?
Here, I know what, basically my credit, I'm been through this 4 times by now, so I think I'm in pretty good shape. What I would like to know is what the rate is at this point. I can figure out based on the down payment, how much the mortgage would be. I have no idea what the rate is right now because I was not interested in looking at anything.
So if
The 30-year mortgage
I could,
rate.
I could certainly tell you, but I guarantee you it's not going to give you an accurate depiction of what your monthly is going to be because every lender is different. Every lender is going to be more competitive. So you can get that, but I guarantee you it's not going to be what you're gonna see on paper. And realistically, that's why I was saying I get it. You've gone through the process before, and your credit's great, awesome. It doesn't take any time if it's something that you do decide you want to do. Like I said, I can certainly send you his info. I just would advise having it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I always say, especially when it comes to your pre-approval, because let's say you find the best deal tomorrow and you're like, let's make this happen. We could get a great return for on a rental for this. If you got to go about trying to get that pre-approval, you could miss out on that opportunity. I see it happen all the time in this business. So that's the only reason I was like, hey, it doesn't affect your credit at all. All it takes is 10 minutes basically to qualify, and he could tell you exactly what he can get you on a monthly payment. As far as what rates are currently looking like right now, are you talking just regular conventional? Yeah. So with really really good credit, like when you say really good, are you talking 800 plus, or what are we looking at?
Yeah,
850 plus, very cool. You should be able to do under 7 for sure. But like I said, he's very competitive. So I don't like to speak on his behalf. Um, I think that you'd be pleasantly surprised with where he would get you based on where rates are currently. And like I said, not speaking on his behalf or anything, I can't guarantee anything, but I do think that he's very competitive. He's saved a lot of my clients' butts and gotten them some really, really good rate and had them at a really comfortable monthly payment, which is important when it comes to an investment property, right? I mean, you're gonna want to stay under a certain amount to make sure that it makes sense when it comes to whatever the rent's gonna be.
yeah, it's gonna be. My rate is like 3%, and it's gonna be hard to even like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, keep that property because you're not going to get 3%. Yeah, yeah. We're not. I don't think we'll see 3% in our lifetimes, unfortunately. Again, yeah. I mean, yeah, and that wouldn't be good for any of us. I think we'd all be out of jobs if that's the case. So, uh, yeah. But yeah, like I said, I'll send you his number. Hey, no pressure. If you want to talk to him,
If they see something, I'm like, okay, it's looking good out there. Let's.
yeah. So some single family homes, townhomes under 350, around Kennesaw, DeKalb, anywhere else you were thinking? If it comes down to a purely investment standpoint, I'll send you some good options just so you have some good stuff to look at. And if anything makes sense to you, in the search when I send it over, I'm going to send you an email so you have a link to that search. Let me know. Send me anything that looks good to you. I'm more than happy, as always, to go out there beforehand, get some video, preview the property, let you know if I think it's worth your time to come out and take a look at.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, why did you bring it?
Exactly. I'm not trying to waste your time. I know you got a ton of things to do. Let me do that. It's my job. Let me do the legwork for you, and then we'll make sure that when you're getting into properties, that they're worth your time.
Okay.
All right, Yummy. Well, hey, it was great touching base with you. I'll have that updated search out to you in probably the next 5 minutes. All right, you bet. Thanks. Take care. I got Watson Yami at gmail.com. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, hey, you have a great one. We'll talk. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Larry.
Hey, Miss Doris, it's Carrie Blumenfeld, Method Real Estate. You were speaking to my associate, Shawnee Vardy, a couple months ago, and I just wanted to touch base with you. She said you were thinking about selling your home, looking for a new home, somewhere close to your daughter up in Alpharetta. Just wanted to tell you that we've got a bunch of things that are popping on the market that seem to match that criteria. I do work with Shawnee, so I do know you have been communicating. I also do know that in order to make that move, sometimes we got to do some work on our current homes. We have products in place that can help you do those renovations and get you in a place to where you can make that move. That's called a method makeover program. We will cover those renovations. We will pay the vendors and then allow you to pay us back at closing. It comes from the sale of your home, the proceeds, and then you can use the rest of those proceeds to purchase a home. We understand sometimes it's hard to get the cash to make those moves and to make everything happen. So don't hesitate to give us a shout back. Keep using our website, keep looking at any of those properties, and if anything piques your interest, take a look and let us know. Talk to you soon. Bye. I thought she was going to answer. Was not prepared to leave a voicemail. I know that happens. I know that happens to you, JC, sometimes. You're like, this person's going to answer. And then they don't. And you're like, You're like ready. I was
Yeah,
like
man.
ready. I like knew. I was
No. You were ready to hit them with everything you said in the voicemail, like
Yeah, well, and
at them.
that's
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem with like making assumptions or over preparing for it and whatever, because then you're like, whatever. And then you call somebody and they answer and they haven't answered in 6 years.
Right.
And
That's
you're like, God, I should have looked at the notes, and you're trying to scramble. So,
that's always fun.
like,
Oh man.
we got to get rid of these preconceived notions of what they're going to say when they answer and if they answer and all of this. It just doesn't matter until they actually do.
True. That's a good
It's
point.
funny. Like, I sketched myself out completely. Stumbling. This is my first time. This is my first time leaving a voicemail. I guess I could have like read. I don't know. Do we have that option through Follow Up Us to redo a voicemail? I'm
Not
sure.
that I know of.
Not that it matters,
But
but
like I said, man, I wanted to bomb on the phone, so I think it's just as important. Everybody does it. Like,
well, that was recorded, so we'll see.
yeah, that was fine. I think my first call I bombed on, so that was good.
Get some tough ones. This one
I've
was
been getting so
intentional.
many people that are just like, "Oh, I'm busy right now." It's like, damn,
Yeah.
trying to land a listing on here live. Let's see.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up. Hey, Harold. I know it's been a little bit since May and when we spoke, and I know you were relocating up from Albany. Just wanted to touch base with you. It's been quite the wild summer, so love to see how it has been down there. I know you discussed your wife getting more work experience and discussing her getting a job up here. So wanted to see how that was going as well. Feel free to call me, text me, shoot me an email if that's easier. But let me know how everything's going. 678-983-7987. Again, 678-983-7987. All right, Harold, talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey y'all, can y'all hear me? I got a quick question for anyone who works in Miami area.
What was that?
I got a quick question for if we also work in, I know we work in Miami, but do we also work in like Malibu and like Palm Beach? Is that all kind of the same?
We've got there's different MLSs,
Yeah.
but for the most part, we cover pretty much all over Florida now, except for like what is it, Emerald Coast? I think that's what they call that, Emerald Coast MLS, which is like the Gulf Coast. We have access
Mhm.
to it in Atlanta, but we are not active members of the board. But I believe we're members like in Orlando, all the way from like Miami to Orlando into Tampa. Um, if we are not, you can get like affiliate memberships and all that stuff if it makes sense. Sometimes it's just not even worth it, and you just refer that out to a local agent, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
It just depends,
Okay.
especially if it's complicated.
The other kind of answer to that too is you
Yeah.
can definitely sell outside of your MLS. For example, like here in North Carolina, we have multiple different MLS zones, and I sell dozens of properties outside of our MLS. Usually,
Uh-huh.
what it ends up taking is I just have to do a little bit of extra legwork, working in conjunction with the listing agent. So I represent the buyers on a property outside of our MLS, and I rely basically on the listing agent to help provide the disclosures to me, and then also I provide agreement of compensation to ensure that they will pay me. Ooh, Carrie got that nutty buddy. That they'll make sure that they pay me the compensation, that is listed or that is agreed upon. And then that doesn't require additional memberships in that MLS. At least and I'm sure it's probably the same in Georgia too. If you're licensed in a licensed Georgia agent, you're licensed to do business in the entire state, even if you're not part of
Uh-huh.
those individual MLSs. Now, it does take a lot of
Yeah.
extra work, and generally you can only work outside of your MLS if you're representing a buyer. To be able to be, representing a seller and list that property and actively market it, you would need to be part of that MLS or have some sort of agent affiliation to that MLS. So the short answer is
Gotcha.
yes, we
So
could
what would
service
you
clients in those areas, but it's not it's not a clear cut yes. It's more of like a maybe, and it depends also on if you're representing a buyer versus a seller.
It's
Okay,
more it's more difficult on the list side
Yes,
for
for
that.
sure.
got it? How would y'all recommend me to move forward with someone who's looking to buy in the Malibu, West Palm Beach area?
How far do you live from there?
I live in Atlanta.
Probably best is
Talk to David.
yeah, talk to David.
What's David?
Yeah, I mean, if it's Kevin, you're not licensed in Florida, are you?
That's a negative.
Okay. I mean, if it was like a multi-million-dollar house and they wanted to buy with you in that Palm Coast area and you were licensed in Florida, yeah, I'd be on a freaking plane and I'd be there tomorrow working with them, be like, let's do it, let's go. But
Yeah.
you're not licensed in Florida. What is your connection to this individual, to the buyer?
It's a method lead. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
just someone who was
Yeah.
looking to be in
Yeah.
Atlanta at some point, and now she wants to consider
Ref-
Miami, West Malibu, West Palm Beach
Look,
area.
just like you connected me with the lead up here, connect
Yeah,
David with that lead, and we'll refer it to another method agent in that area that covers those areas.
got it. All right.
Yep.
I'll let you guys know if I need anything else. And yeah, sounds good.
I love it. Good job.
See ya.
Mike, I think you're right. I like that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that right now between 2 and 5, I think is really the sweet spot. Just because I've been looking at the metrics of the calls I've been doing. And the funny thing is like everybody, all like the big playmakers, all the big agents in this industry tell you to do all your prospecting in the morning time. Maybe that's market specific, but I've found I'm getting better connectivity afternoons than I am in morning time. That's just here in the Charlotte market, but that's just what I found.
No, I think there's a lot to be said about calling at different times and being available to people at certain times and at different times. We're at the mercy of their schedules.
Absolutely.
And what we speak about so often is that how has consumer behavior changed so drastically that we have to literally change the way that we operate and the way that we follow up with leads over time and consistently. And it's not just about being in the right place at the right time and make the right call. It is that value-based proposition of, I know you're being hammered by all these different agents and people and calls and text messages. I'm here as the calm. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to have that real conversation so that you can hang up the phone and say, wow, that person actually knows what they're talking about. And they actually understand that I have needs. They're not just wanting to show me a house. That's part of it. Of course, we want to get in front of them. I say personally all the time, hey, get in front of them. This is the fun part, is going to look at homes. Yes. What we're getting at is these are the people, these are the leads that need that additional time. They need that nurturing. Just calling someone and asking them if they want to go see a house and them saying yes takes zero skill. It doesn't take any skill. You're asking a question. Do you want to go see this house? Well, they're on our website looking at real estate. Like, in all likelihood, they probably would want to go see it. But asking them, why have you been on our website since 2018? Yet you won't engage, you won't sell your home. You see home prices getting higher and higher and higher. Why haven't you moved? What is the hesitation? What is that? I found out. I looked in the tax records and you could see everything. Her husband passed away 10 years ago. Sure, she has not been maintaining the home. She told me floors need to be replaced. It needs to be painted, all of this stuff. I never would have gotten those answers if I did not show genuine interest in helping her. Everybody, what's her why? Everyone has a problem. We can solve most of those problems because cleaning out your home and preparing your home for market is not an everyday activity.
No,
But
I just had a call. I had to take a break here. We're doing a method makeover and it starts on Tuesday. And my client, he's got a beautiful house. He just needs the bathrooms refreshed. His wife died 2 years ago. He's got a lifetime of of supplies and personal goods in the house that he has to clean out. And we're going to be listing the house in about a month or so once the method makeover is done, and he's going to have to work to literally pack up his life into boxes, and
right,
it's not easy, and we were just talking about that.
You are not going to get away with having an easy sale. Don't expect every single time that you are going to be digging in deep, because that's where you get, I mean, that's where you get referrals. When you really take care of people, that's where you receive dividends. If you invest, you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business. The dividends are referrals. That lady, God willing, if we help her and we help her sell her home and get into a better place, she's worried about the condition of her home, falling values. Luckily, she's in a very high demand area. She's got that going for her. Luckily, she refers us. We help her. But that call right there, her house is probably around, like, the dirt is probably around 400K, 375, 400K. She'll buy another house for 400 to 500,000. I mean, that's $1 million in volume. Call that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have called her. She's been in my system for 2018, 6 years.
And that's the other thing I was going to say too. Like, I've been specifically this week, I've been prospecting through older leads. And when I say older leads, these are leads that are like between 4 and 7 month old leads. And these are the leads that are coming to maturation. These are the leads that are ready to buy now. And a lot of these leads have kind of gone stale as far as, viewing properties and stuff on our website. But my call, my text, my email to them kind of reignited their interest. And the next thing I know, I'm getting lead alerts from people that I had just called that hadn't been on our system in 8 months. And they're bubbling back up to the top and they're looking at stuff every day.
I love that you mentioned that. I love, and I got to jump off in just a second. I got a 4 p.m. with a client. But when you start calling these people, if you're leaving the voicemails, sending the text messages, all of that stuff, you will see that lead activity. You see, we can see everything they do. So when you call someone and leave someone that voicemail and then they're re-engaged and they're back on the website, don't not look yet. I mean, don't not call them. Jump in there, call them, call it out, say, hey, check out the stuff that's popped up on the market. Whatever your hook is, whatever you want to bring to the table that day. I didn't even have a hook today. You usually have something in the news that's on my mind or whatever. I was just vibing. I was just feeling it.
Good vibes only.
Yeah, good vibes only. That's it. It's Thursday. So it's a beautiful. Okay, just getting messages. All right, cool. What else? I wanted to make sure we talked a little bit about like the format and what you think. I personally like this. I thought it was good, chiming in, jumping out. Obviously, I want to be calling the entire time, but inevitably there's
the one
stuff
thing
that pops up.
The one thing I will say that was a little bit not troublesome, but like when one person takes a call, what do the other people do? The other people are connecting to a call. Do they chime in or unmute themselves and call through? And the other thing I noticed too is I'm calling, my headset is Bluetooth, it's connected to my computer. And if I mute myself on Zoom here, it mutes my headset. So I can call, but it mutes my speaker or my microphone from connecting to the lead. The other thing I was going to say too, is we were having some connectivity issues here, just where we were. I don't know if that's just because of the room or where the signal was coming from, but we were having some connectivity issues here.
Well, it's because you live in the woods in North Carolina, so I can't control that.
Well, I'm not in the woods now.
I'm
Bro,
joking.
where we are in Huntersville,
I'm
this is basically Roswell, okay?
I know, it's beautiful. Good question. Yeah, I don't know if there's a perfect solution for. I don't know if there's a perfect solution. Maybe listening.
I'm wondering
if
if
we can control it and mute people after a certain, like when you're on the phone after a certain
Yeah. So what I was thinking, I wonder if there's a way we could have, for example, like a main profile or a main um like a webcam separately that's an individual that films the entire room instead of, and then we all individually have our own, connections to the um to the Zoom, and then like the room that focuses on everybody stays on and hears everybody talking, and that's never muted, or that's never muted. I don't know. I'm just, because
No,
I've
yeah,
done
I
these in the
think
past where we've been able to stream it like that, and I can't remember if it was done through Zoom or a different like platform, if it was like Microsoft Teams or something like that. But there's another way of doing it to where,
well,
you know,
all of this is recorded, so I'm assuming if you're muting other people, they're not going to be muted in the regular recording.
I gotcha. But just
We
on
got
the
to look.
broadcast there. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to look and see what the broadcast. I wonder. I think because both of ours record to the cloud. What
Yeah.
if we
Don't,
do it? Because I'm going to start streaming some of it to like Instagram and
you're gonna
TikTok a little
you're
bit.
gonna stream it on Twitch.
Maybe YouTube. Um, to get more people involved, it'd be super cool to get other agents from other companies involved
Yeah.
and see what they do, because we're all in the same boat.
Excuse me.
So I'm yeah, I'll look at the recording. We can always, or I could have it recording from mine, and then we can have the method one on, and I could go through on the method main page, and well, essentially, because if no one messed with anything from the main method account, and it's one of the co-hosts, like nothing will be muted and unmuted. We'll have to look.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think regardless
We'll
of
figure it
that,
out.
yeah,
We'll figure it out. I mean, there's other novel ways of getting it set up. So
I mean, I'd say maybe during these call sessions, not even use a headset. Go, yeah, you need to though, because you
I mean,
have other people in the room.
yeah, I mean, we're in a room where we've got like we had like 4 or 5 people in
Yeah.
here, so that wouldn't work per se. But if everyone was in their own individual homes, yeah, that'd be different. You can not use a headset and it wouldn't be as bad. But um, I mean, I like the idea of having people show up and be here, But
I like for if you're alone, headset connected to the computer, which is on Zoom, and then you can, obviously use your phone for speakerphone, or
dial through your phone instead of dial through the computer.
I mean, you can dial through your phone. I do both. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends. It depends. I just I switched it off. I guess whichever you're using follow up boss through, that's whatever it will use. So like if you're going
Yeah.
through your phone, I dial through my iPad sometimes. I guess actually I could have done that. That would have been easier. So we'll figure it out. This is all fun stuff and good stuff, and it's just more FaceTime. And we're here for
Yeah,
questions
absolutely.
too. So if you have questions about dialing, if you have questions about converting, and I think that's probably a good idea, Mike, is like when someone's on a call, let's listen, and they let it go live. Let's listen to that first bit or section, and then when you hit that kind of transition period and you hear that, you're like, okay, cool, perfect, then people can kind of go on. Or if it's really interesting, if it's a really good one, I think we're gonna naturally kind of keep listening.
Yeah.
Because that's the purpose, hearing that real life conversation.
For sure.
And that's
No, there's definitely
exciting.
there's a lot of value to that too. Hearing how other people transact with a lead for sure is important.
Shoot, I was 1 for 1. I called like 7 other people, but first one,
Dude,
Good
Love it.
vibes.
That's right.
See that?
Yep.
Money
Dollar.
and lightning.
Dollar bill.
I don't. It was from Temu. It was like a joke. I was like, this thing was like $4. Is it going to show up? It actually, it's probably emitting like chemicals. All good. No, this was super fun. I got another call in just a second. But yeah, this was awesome. Good job. Let's next Thursday we'll be set 2 to 4.
Yep. We are good to go for next Thursday too.
I will not be in attendance.
It's all good.
I'm going to be in Chicago
Yes.
at Lollapalooza.
I love it.
So
I should have no problem with leading it as long as
well,
if you can-
David said he's
join
going to
on.
jump on.
Sweet.
And this was awesome. So everyone, if you really enjoyed this, whoever was on, if you're watching the recording, when you're watching the recording, jump on here. There's no, I mean, listen,
No
you want to feel embarrassed here or you're embarrassed on the phone and whatever. So,
No
let your
ego.
guard
There's
down. Yeah.
no ego. There's no pretense. There's no none of that craziness here. We're all here to support each other and grow and make money. So
Guys, we don't charge monthly fees. If agents aren't making money, we're not making money. I mean, that's what it comes down to. So we're here to see huge success, and I love it. We have great energy. I thought there was some great calls, and we'll keep perfecting this. And if it needs to be 3 hours, if it needs to be a call-a-thon, that's 25 hours. We know we'll do whatever. We'll do it, but I'll let Mike, if you guys want to stay on, you can. If not, I'm going to,
I got to
I'll
go
jump
too,
off.
man.
Yep.
Yep. All right,
Perfect.
folks. Have a great
Sounds
night.
good. Bye, everyone.